Joining me on the program now, John Cowan. John, kia ora. Thanks for being on the
Kia
show
ora.
today.
I've
Hey,
got an attention span of a goldfish, but hopefully I can stay focused for the duration of this interview.
exactly. Oh, what's that over there? Exactly. Now, I blame TikTok for any problems that I have. Certainly, even though it was only invented recently and I can't figure out how to use it. Let's focus on today's problem, though, because, and hey, perhaps it connects. If you tell children they're not allowed to do something, then becomes a lot more interesting suddenly, whether that's social media or anything else. And if you say, "Hey, children, here's some vitamins. You should eat these vitamins because they're good for you," then they're going to spit it out, probably at you. But if you
Uh,
say, "Oh, look, it's shaped like a teddy bear, and here's a special little thing for," we're using the same science really to trick vitamins into our children. But whatever it takes, John. Honestly.
uh, well, yes, yes. Actually, I'm a vitamin skeptic. I
Okay.
remember being on a TV show. They were recording the interview, and it was about how to get kids to eat at the table. And there's all sorts of little tricks and tips to help kids, yeah, teenagers and young people to eat a diverse range of food.
Yeah.
And, some kids are fussy eaters. We had certain plans that worked very well. But anyhow, at the end of the interview, the interviewer goes, and of course, it's always very good to get your kids onto a course of multivitamins.
What?
And I said, yes, if they've got scurvy or beriberi, if they've got a good diet, they don't need any vitamin supplements.
Yeah.
The interview came to a crashing halt. The people started looking at each other. The producer walked over and said quietly into my ear, "This show is being sponsored by a vitamin company. Can we redo that again?" Unfortunately, it wasn't going live to air.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to perjure myself. So instead, the interviewer just wrapped up with a piece straight to the camera about the
Yeah.
wonders of vitamins. So I didn't have to perjure myself. I just sat off in the corner sulking out of frame. But yeah, a good diet does provide all the vitamins you need. But if there is a deficiency, if for some reason, you're lacking vitamin D or vitamin B or whatever, a course of vitamins is very valuable. Those tiny, sometimes even microscopic amounts of minerals and chemicals are absolutely essential. Now, that was just, by the way, a roundabout sort of a segue intro into what I really
It's
want to
not what
talk
we're
about.
really talking about. And hey,
That's right.
vitamin
Yeah,
skeptic over here as well. If you
that's
tell
right.
me it's good
It's
for me,
always
I'll
a
spit it
challenge to
out.
find out where I'm heading.
We're talking relational vitamins. Now, this
Relational
is
vitamins.
this
It's a
just
list
another
that
way
I
of
don't know where
tricking
I
good
got.
things into us? Is this just another way of saying, well, we'll call them vitamins, we'll pretend it's. Where are we going with this, John? Chart us a
It was
course.
probably just a catchy little title to stick on the top of a PowerPoint slide that I made years and years ago, and calling it a little list of things. And I don't know where I got that list from. That's the wonderful thing about getting older. Not only do I repeat myself endlessly, I can't even remember. If I say something several times that I stole from someone years ago, I start to believe that I even made it up. But I'm prepared to say that I probably didn't make up this list.
Yeah.
And it was titled Relationship Vitamins,
Okay.
Tiny Actions and Attitudes that if they sprinkled on your daily life together with your special other, can make for a much happier relationship. And just like in a meal, a, a good, healthy relationship will probably provide these things anyway.
Yep.
But the thing is, you may be suffering from a deficiency and not notice it. So I'm just going to run through this
Okay.
list. I've sent it through to you there, so feel free to chip in. Well, why don't we start at the bottom? Because I am a backwards sort of a person in many respects. Anticipating needs. I mean, if your partner asked you for a cup of tea or a back rub or to take the rubbish out or do any, or so you'd probably leap to it because of your
Yeah.
love and willingness and everything like this. But what about if you anticipated it? What about if you thought, they're probably getting a bit thirsty now, I'll put the jug on. I think that they'll probably appreciate the fact that I'm leaping ahead and
That's a
and I'm
superpower,
planning a
John.
holiday without,
Can
yeah.
I just say that is a superpower? That there'll be people going, gosh, how would I even know this? I get in
Uh,
trouble for not knowing what my partner is thinking, and now you're saying that I have to know what they're thinking and anticipate their needs? There's just 7 impossible things to do before lunchtime.
I didn't say it was going to be easy.
Okay.
Hey, you've just talked to someone about banning kids from social media. This is relative child's play compared with that. But
Yeah.
anyhow, anticipating it needs is if you're conscious about it, if you even start to think, what might my partner need? You've
Okay.
already scored a stack of brownie points. If that's the way that you becomes your standard operating mode, if you're thinking ahead and thinking, what might my partner want or need at this time?
Hmm.
I don't think your relationship's going to go sour because of that. I mean, that's a fantastic skill. And so it might take a while to get it right, but hey, let's call that a vitamin.
Yep.
The other is relational moments. And that is, I mean, even if you're spending all day with each other, even if you're working around each other and squeezing past each other to get to the bathroom sink, and you're sitting in bed at night staring at your phones, and there's lots and lots of time together, and it's cordial and friendly and everything like that. How about just thinking, are there actual relational moments when we actually connect
Hmm.
at an intimate level, meaning just catching their eye,
Yeah.
giving them a smile, a little compliment, just moving forward and just a brushing touch of your hand, a bonding touch, not necessarily, actually that's a topic we could talk about, the different types of touch.
Hmm.
I don't know whether it would have to come on after 10 p.m. on Rhema. I don't know. But I mean, but there is bonding touch, which is just affectionate ways of just brush of the hand, an arm draped on the shoulder, and it's just a relational moment. And that can be something that just evaporates from relationships. The
Yeah.
fact that you're not connecting in an intimate, personal a way like that. Uh, to another little vitamin is transmitting the fact that you consider the other person valuable.
Wow.
Of course, you value them. You would die for your spouse. You'd die for the people you love, but they don't want you alive. They want you dead and actually just expressing occasionally the fact that you value them.
Yeah.
You value them more than your widescreen TV, that you value them more than your blisteringly fast car and everything like this. And you get that from actually focusing them with your attention. And even, how about this, saying it,
Yeah.
actually expressing it. I mean, it's amazing how shy some couples get after a couple of decades of expressing anything mushy. Those phrases that used to just tumble out of your mouth when you were dating, you become almost embarrassed to say it to this person that you're quite happy to walk around in your underwear with. I mean, it's not in public. I was meaning,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
quality there. But yeah, this shyness that creeps into couples' lives, it's amazing. That if you say to your partner, I love you, I appreciate you, I think you're looking really pretty today, or something, or I appreciate the fact that you did that for me, they're going to look at you suspiciously. What are they after? What do
Yeah.
they want?
Exactly.
Because it's sort of dropped out of common coinage in your relationship. So can I really urge you to re-inject that vitamin into the diet of your relationship? And perhaps the final thing I'll say today is just the safe expression of feelings.
Hmm.
To rid your relationship of fear. If you're thinking, I can't say this to him, if I can't raise this topic with her without it blowing up, then could I just say, you've got a little bit of work to do. There's a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
One of the vitamins for a healthy, happy relationship is that you should feel safe in being able to talk about the things that are important to you.
Mm.
It might be the kids, it might be finances, it might be some little habit or something that they have, it might be something to do with the in-laws or something. If you're scared to raise the topic because of the opprobrium, the storm that it's going to unleash, you need to work on how to raise these topics. You need to learn how to file the edges off these things so that they arrive gently without a crashing impact. It's a skill that both of you need to work on, but the safe expression of feelings is a hallmark of long, happy, safe marriages. So, yeah, let's call those the vitamins, and there's more, but let's round it up on that. Safe expressions of feelings, expressing that you value your partner, relational moments, actually creating moments where there's a little intimacy and touch, and thinking ahead to what your partner might like. We'll throw those ones out for your
Exactly.
listeners today, Andrew.
Not available as multivitamins, but as we've established, they don't really work anyway. Uh, John, very much appreciate your wisdom as always. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.